Good afternoon or good morning to everyone. Welcome to a new edition of Smart Talks by MESPAC. This time it is a pleasure for us to present this webinar by the hand of Hoffer, one of our stellar partners. Hi. I am Mónica Cuatracasas, Communication Manager at MESPAC. Nice to greet you. And today we are delighted to have you join us for this session entitled The Future of Sustainable Spouted Pouches, where we will explore more in detail about the latest monomaterial technology and eco-friendly spouts. The webinar is scheduled to last approximately 45 minutes and will be presented by our experts, John Strubulis, Product Manager at Hoffer, and Mike Arcuro, Area Sales Manager at MESPAC.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Following the presentation, we will allocate about 10 minutes for questions and answers. So please feel free to submit your questions during the session through the question and answer section below. The session will be recorded and shared to those who have been attending this webinar. So let's proceed to know more about our speaker. So let me introduce John Strubulis, Product Manager at Hoffer. John has been Product Manager at Hoffer for over 20 years and is a seasoned sales and market development professional with extensive experience across various sectors of the flexible packaging industry. He is a results-driven product manager specializing in the confectionery, coffee, powdered beverage, dry goods, butter and building product segments. As a sales account manager, John has this proven track record of driving growth and providing exceptional service to major food and confectionery customers. He also brings significant experience collaborating with cross-functional teams to deliver innovative customer solutions and market advancements. Good morning, John. Glad you are here with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited.
Okay, perfect. The pleasure is for us. Thank you. So, and now I would like to introduce as well Mike Arcuro, Area Sales Manager at MESPAC. Mike is the Regional Sales Director for the East Coast and the United States and Canada at MESPAC. With nearly 2 years at MESPAC and several years of experience in the flexible packaging industry, Mike is dedicated to helping customers improve their business through innovative solutions. Initially drawn to MESPAC cutting-edge technology, Mike's commitment has deepened over time, aligning with company's philosophy that views customers as partners. His approach turns customer needs into opportunities for growth, enhancing MESPAC's market presence. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being with us, and it's a pleasure. We are excited for that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for both and for your contributions also to prepare this session. With nothing further to add, let's proceed with the presentation. So, okay. Today we are going to cover different topics about sustainable spouted pouches, but first let me introduce just a quick MESPAC overview, just for you to know who we are. So MESPAC, headquartered in Barcelona, is a global leader in flexible packaging and equipment for consumer packaged goods, and we are known for our innovation, creating sustainable packaging solutions. MESPAC has been part of Duraban since 2015, leading player in the world of industrial equipment headquartered in Illinois. Duraban is a global engineer equipment company with manufacturing, sales, and service facilities. So here you can see that Duraban offers immediate and lifelong aftermarket support across different sectors, such as serving food, processing, packaging, and material handling industries worldwide through its diverse portfolio of operating companies and brands that you can see here in this slide. Regarding MESPAC, established in 1994 as an horizontal form, film, and seal manufacturer, MESPAC has evolved into a global one-stop shop with extensive services, with sales teams in over 90 countries and regional service centers, ensuring prompt access to parts. We boast in industry's largest product portfolio, with 380 employees across 17,700 square meters of facilities. Our production centers are in Spain, the US, and India. MESPAC provides solutions for various industries, including food, beverage, pet food, pharmaceuticals, personal care, and home care. But additionally, we serve industries such as law and garden, agriculture, tobacco, automotive, and more. Here you can see that we have the largest and most innovative portfolio. Our talent engineering team designs customized integrated solutions for primary, secondary packaging, and also end-of-line processes. With our extensive portfolio that you can see here in this slide, we offer a high precision, efficient, and versatile horizontal form, fill, and seal machine for flexible packaging, including machinery for pre-made pouches and a wide range of vertical form, fill, and seal equipment. Additionally, we provide hydroforma machines for water-soluble pots and end-of-line equipment to fit your secondary packaging needs, offering targeting solutions if required. Okay. With nothing else to add, this is the beginning of our introduction to MESPAC and providing you the opportunity to familiarize yourself with who we are. And now, John, I'll pass you the floor.
Great. Thank you, Monica. Really a pleasure to be here. Thank you all for joining the Smart Talk today. We hope you'll find it very beneficial. I'm excited to present with my good friend, Mike, as a collaborative partner. So thank you.
Thank you, John.
So a little bit about Hoffer Plastics, just a brief background. Hoffer Plastics celebrated their 70-year anniversary last year. So we were founded in 1953. We have a 365,000 square foot facility here in Elgin, Illinois, and about 350 employees. We ship 3 billion parts annually, and part of our commitment to excellence is really delivering 99.5% on-time delivery to our customers. So it's something that we strive for and we put a lot of effort and focus into. If you look at going out into our facility right outside over here, it's about 112 injection molding presses that are being utilized. We have 9 independent focused factories that are focused in, which have dedicated processes for each facility. So although we're under one campus, each one is managed with a different plant manager. On site, we have tooling, which is very important. Our presses will not go down, and if there's any type of mold issue, if there's a mold that needs to be pulled, it happens on site here at our facility, so that we do not have to outsource that. We have 26 master toolmen here that actually fix the tools and are able to address any issues that happen while we're processing. Another very interesting part of our business model is reinvesting back into our business. We are a debt-free company. We're very proud to say that because it shows part of the discipline of Hoffer Plastics. We reinvest 10% back into the business every year to make sure that our facility and our innovation is at the cutting edge. Some of the certifications that we have: SQF, Metacred, so we work in multiple different markets. We work in automotive, ISO certified. All of these are part of our processes, and we are also very humbled for some of these industry awards that we have been honored to receive. We received the Plastics News Sustained Excellence Award We've received Processor of the Year award. Just recently, Industry Week honored us with being one of the finalists of Best Plant Finalists. This is for all industries. It's not just our particular industry, but across it's really across all markets. And we are one of the finalists in that. So we're very humbled by that. And we look to for the results here shortly. Also, we are part of the Illinois Manufacturing Association Community Impact. One of the values that we have here at Hoffer is giving back to our community. And that all stems from the values and the culture that we have here at Hoffer. Our mission and core values: family, integrity, service, and trust. This is not just a tagline. The family is involved in the business. They're involved in the community. And we try to live up to these values every day. Just a brief overview of Hoffer. If you look at the business, from the business side, we are from inception a custom injection molding company. However, about 10 years ago, Hoffer invested in their own proprietary tools. So that being said, we are this portion of the pie right here. This is a little dated, but probably about 11% is in the flexible packaging market space. And my job as product manager is to try and grow that piece of the pie right there. But it's been a challenge to go ahead and move into and grow that space, and we're honored to be a part of that. So as we get into it, I'm going to talk a little bit about our journey to sustainability and how to drive to the solutions that the industry is in need of today. So the journey to spouted pouches, and I call it a journey because it really is, as we're moving to mono materials, it takes all of these different pieces to come together and to be orchestrated in the right way so that we can deliver a solution to the market that's needed. So you have the machine, you have the film structure, you have the spout. I'll be focusing on the spout portion of it, but it's really the integral part of all of those coming together. And it's really, I call it a journey because we are on our way there. So if you're looking at the machine side, what levers can be pulled there to impact monomaterial spouted pouches? A lot of great strides have been made with machinery, modifying web tensions, preheat stations, ultrasonic welding, smart digital sealing, where Watron, one of our partners, one of the partners of MESPAC, has the technology to actually install smart digital sealing, so it can work very well with monomaterials by really honing in on the right temperature throughout that entire seal bar. Some of the impacts films have been able to make over the past couple of years. Modify and incorporate the MDO film process, adjusting the resin composition, coatings and lacquers that really help push that temperature to what's needed for mono PE films. And excuse me. And lastly, the spout. It's really adjusting the resin composition, the spout and the canoe design. We've been able to make certain modifications that have really helped us, and really the lightweighting of parts so that we use less resin in the process. So all those three need to really come together in a cohesive way. And everyone is everyone's along on this journey, but there are different ways, and I'll say different stages where everyone's at along the way. So we talked a little bit about lightweighting. I think that's the low-hanging fruit we can look at. So sustainability through lightweight reduction and spout redesign. What we are really excited about here is we took one of our parts and we were actually able to lightweight it from a very functional part to take out 46% of the resin, really look at the canoe shape as well, provide shallower ribs that actually helped along the process. So this migration from kind of a more functional part to a more lighter weight, more versatile, something that lends itself more towards sealing with monomaterial films is something that we've been able to bring to the market. Of course, when you look at the material standpoint of it, we've also been able to look at these three different buckets. So you have the recyclable ready materials. You have post-consumer PIR resins. And last but not least, the biodegradable or compostable resins. We've touched all three, but the way that they are lined up on this screen is really the way that we are approaching it in terms of how much time and effort. We're really looking to find a solution here with the recycle ready materials and finding a solution across multiple converters, across multiple ways to get to a mono PE film. Also with PCR and PIR. So PCR, I'm really excited about because we actually here at Hoffer have FDA approved source for PCR that we can put into our product. We processed it here. It works very well within our process, which could be challenging at times with different types of resins. But we've been able to secure supply and also have it processed very well within the process of injection molding. Also with biodegradable additives, we have experience as well, using at 1% or 2% loading into our process, and something that could be compostable into a part that could be compostable. There's been some work, not a lot, only because we're happy to do it. It's just the industry and the need right now has been trying to really catch up to having a solution with the monos at this point. But we have processed PLA, we have worked with additives. We're happy to continue. Probably our next phase will be in this realm here. So I'll share a journey here to spouted pouches with monomaterials. Some of the challenges that we have, like all films, there are variations with the mono PE structures. So we receive requests from our partners and our end customers, what films work with the spout. So some films that we have work great. We don't have to change anything about our spout. They work well. It works well with the mono PE structure, and we're all happy campers. But as the industry moves towards the mono PE films in general, there is a need to incorporate all of our partners, all of the converters, in order to find a lower seal initiation so that it can broaden those film options to the consumer and to the manufacturer, to the converters. So one size does not fit all. Collaboration is needed to actually get there. So we've taken a couple journeys with some of our partners, some of our film partners, to get to a more sustainable solution. What we don't want to happen is this along the way. It's not my, it's not my fault. We're looking at where's the solution. I'll get a phone call saying, "Hey, this spout doesn't work with this film," and I think what we need to do is come together and figure out what can we control in order to make a finished product that works in the market. So another challenge that we have as we receive these films in, we'll get something like this sometimes where I receive films in, we do some testing on a benchtop, some top seals of the mono PE film. As you can see on the left, not the most desirable solution. We can get it to seal, but the pouch really doesn't look the way we want it to look. What we want to get to is something more like the picture on the right. So we want to decrease the melt point of the PE spout by looking at different additives, by looking at different resin blends, and then from the film side, increase the melt of the PE so that we can find a way for that package to actually seal and then look the way traditional films look aesthetically. So here's an example of different films that we have received in over here, and it shows really the migration from trying to get from red to more green. So we would really like to see more of these films that we're seeing. This gives us an indication that we're all as an industry moving in the right direction. So we're doing benchtop testing with these different structures that you see here on the screen. So if you look at the first structure over here, I'm looking at the left box and I'll migrate to the right. So we can seal using a standard spout. These are all standard spouts on the left, and then we have the low melt spouts on the right to see what impact it has, right? So you look at the first example, we have a 30 micron PE laminated to a 90 micron with a heat seal coating, works with a standard, works with a low melt. You can achieve the same amount with a lower temp. That's great. However, we can't just stop there and say that's the solution for the industry. That's a very good solution, but there are other players here that we want to move into that green zone as well. So we look and see with the difference between, let's say, a standard and the low melt. What have we been able to see? With the second structure here, we didn't have much success with the standard. We didn't have a lot of success with the low melt spout as well. The spout didn't seal at lower temperatures, and we still saw film distortion. The third structure here, we were able to get really good seals with a standard spout. We moved to the low melt. We got similar results, but there was a significant improvement of the film distortion. So we actually are making, even though you see kind of binary, yes, it works, no, it doesn't. If you can see improvement here, and these are the worst case scenarios because we are not using technology that's on the mess pack line. We're using standard seal bars here. So, but there are, even though the colors look the same and the yes, no, fail, not fail look the same, there's significant improvements going to that lower seal temp spout. Another one where we didn't have initial is this one, the 20 micron MDO PE to the 100 micron metallized PE. We didn't have success even sealing with the standard one. We moved them to a low melt. We were actually able to seal, have a nice seal adhesion. We had really good seal adhesion, and we had much less film distortion. So we're headed in the right direction, and that's what we want to see. The last structure here, which is very interesting because if you look at earlier, I said film structures are not the same. There's nuances. If you look at the first film structure and the last film structure, they look very similar. You have a 30 micron PE film to 90 micron low density PE film with a coating, but we had no success with the last one. We didn't have any success. And then we had very good success sealing the spout. And then also, but we did see film distortion. So the good thing was we were able to actually get to 124 degrees, which means we're heading in the right direction. So part of the journey is collaborating with the partners. We have invested, Mespac and Hoffer have invested with Dow at the Dowpac Studios location to actually bring these partners together. So in doing that, I'll just bring an example to kind of see how this journey went with one of our partners here. So this is a typical, let me just. So observations with one of our converting partners, observations with a standard resin blend. This is our typical blend. They sent in a film, they trialed it. When we look at these different topics, these different headers here, I just want to say station 1 is the triple point seal. Station 2 is right here. It is where the spout seals. That's what we're interested in. And then also the bar seal on the top, the horizontal seal temperature. So what we noticed with the first variable that came in, we didn't get any pass fail when we put it in the hog testing, and we went up to 100. We started at 115, went up to 140. We didn't see any type of any passing variables. So we then moved to a new film variable coming in. So we kept the structure the same. Everything was the same, but a new film structure was introduced. What we happened to see was, now that we had the triple point seal temperature isolated, we had the top horizontal seal isolated, we went up to 100, and we started at 120, went up to 130. And what we saw hermeticity. So we saw in the hog test, we actually saw passing results once we got to this sweet spot over here. What we didn't anticipate with this is that we passed hog testing at 6.5 psi. However, we were still able to pull out that spout. So we did not have destruct bonds. It's not something that we wanted to see. Even though we passed testing, we failed because the spout came out, which was a learning for us. So this slide here shows what happens with the low melt, when a low melt resin blend is introduced. So it shows that when we brought in the low melt spout, we were actually we had everything else isolated, and we went to 125 degrees and 130 degrees. We still passed hermeticity, but we were still able to pull out the spout. So we didn't have great adhesion. However, within that failure mode, there were improvements. There was less film distortion, and there were improved bonds. So it shows that the preheat station is working, and the low melt spout is working as well. So in summary, we really, what we're trying to do now is go from boosting the melt temperature of the structure, and we're going to try to decrease, in our last step, we're going to try and decrease and bring down to the low 120s the melt temperature of the spout. So one of the ways, once we went through this process, one of the ways to do that is to look at the different resin blends, and Dow was very helpful making recommendations. And I look forward to looking to process these. We're actually going to be running these products here shortly. And then we're going to be running another trial. And hopefully when we come together next time, we'll be sharing a success story of having a finished pouch with a film and a spout that have worked together for about a year. And now we're going to have a finished pouch ready to go in the market. So we had such a great time doing it. We actually took a video, brought it along the way during our last trial, and we're going to share a little bit of our journey there.
As the industry is moving for a more sustainable solution with monomaterials, there's a need for this collaboration, and it's really driven by the customer.
As a consumer, we care about the environment, and that's why when we think about packaging, we want to have a package that can be reused, recycled.
When we looked in market and we saw that the new requirements, and we worked together to find the correct solutions for the market.
When we sit together and discuss the challenges, each of us start to bring solutions for their specific area. In our case, we're bringing new resins. First, you need to deliver the performance that is required. You need to make sure those packages, they run at a desirable speed.
I know to make machines, but I don't know nothing about film. I don't know nothing about caps. Every time that we make all these tests, we learn more and we can give better solutions to them. The times change, and the requirements that the governments have in all the world change it too. We need to be the first ones that have all the solutions for all our customers.
We've got to continue to develop these films because the demand is there.
And that's the movement of the industry, our whole value chain. So why the industry has been working already several years to be able to deliver on more sustainable and circular packaging.
People who've been in the market for a long time understand it takes time to do that kind of innovation, but if people are thinking about it and have goals towards it for long term, that's when really good things can happen.
So that was part of the journey, and I just want to say we had a ball doing the video and we had a ball doing the trial. And thank you all for your time. I'll pass it over to my friend Mike.
Thank you, John. Very good job. Thanks for your clear presentation. And I think your the video you just show us is a clear indication about how important is the synergy, the cooperation between the machine supplier, manufacturing, the film supplier, the cap and spout supplier, and of course, the customer. Thank you, John. Very well done. So my goal is now to give you some information about what Mespac is doing in order to make possible to work with new machines and even with the existing machines with fully recyclable or sustainable material. You can see now on this slide what we call the 6R. The three on the left are related to the material: reducing, replacing, and removing packaging material. And this is a challenge for Mespac and for the film supplier as well as the spout supplier as an Hoffer. But I want to be focused now on the equipment. So basically, it's important to identify what Mespac can do in order to help customers to be able to work with the monomaterial. You know, I remember a few years ago, the first assumption or the first question I got from customer was, I heard your horizontal form fill seal are not able to work with the monomaterial, fully recycled material. That was all the time the objection we needed to overcome. And that was partially true. Back in the time, it was not easy to work and to set up our machines in order to work with monomaterial, with the fully recycled monomaterial. Of course, in the last few years, like John said, the industries made a lot of improvement in order to make it possible. But of course, it's also important on our side as a machine manufacturing to do our part. So we're gonna see in a very few minutes how MESPAC is working on the re-engineering phase, basically design and modifying the new machines in order to be able to perform and to keep high efficiency even with monomaterial, and also allow me to say even more important, how we can help existing customer with existing machines in order to work with monomaterial. This is basically the challenge we are facing, not only as MESPAC, but as a packaging machines industries in general. So what is easy to work on our machines is not eco-friendly. And what is eco-friendly present all the time several challenges on our machines. We know now legislation in Europe, but actually even in the US, in Asia, in the rest of the world, basically the world is moving in that direction. The monomaterial is going to be the future. And it's important to be ready to face this important change in the market. So now the question is, what did MESPAC do for in order to be able to work on our HFFS technology with the monomaterial? Basically, we are considering three different phases. The first is be able to sealing, to modify, and to arrange and to set basically our sealing station in order to use sustainable material. And we see now some example of that. The second phase is, and this was also an important improvement on our side, to reduce the changeover time, to make it easier in order to reduce the material waste during the format, right after the format is changed. That was also a very important topic for us because the scrap rate percentage was very high in the past. And of course, one of the goals is also to reduce our energy consumption, which is always a challenge, but with some new unit and using the modern technology helps us to reduce also the consumption on our machines. Now let me give you just summarize some of the improvement we made on our machines. So the first is Armature sealing bars. We know that the monomaterial present a huge challenge in terms of sealability. With the standard material, the window of the sealing is a plus minus 20 degrees Celsius. For the fully recycled material is plus minus 5 degrees Celsius, more or less. So that means the tolerance in terms of the heating setting is much more important, is relevant actually. So the Armature is a material allows to have a homogeneously spread on the sealing bar, the heat with the tolerance with the plus minus 3 Celsius, which is quite remarkable. Also is important double bottom sealing. You all know probably better than us how is important and how is challenging actually the bottom sealing when we have what we call the triple point, 3 layers of material to be sealed in a very short time. So basically doubling the sealing station helps to reduce the temperature, the pressure, less stress for the material, and increase the sealability of the material. Air cooling on the bottom sealing is also important to avoid to deform the structure of the pouch itself. But now I want to be focused on the machine with spout application because this is about the presentation. So one of the most important operation is the spout preheating station. Basically, we apply some heat before we apply the spout inside the pouch in order to have already the surface of the spout preheat and make easier the sealing of the material. Also, the servo-driven spout applicator, and we see some slide further on, it helps to have the more precise application of the spout and also to control the timing and the phase of the spout, position of the spout in the machine. And then finally, the corner spout double sealing. As we said, for the bottom, even the corner spout requires a double station in order to have a longer sealing time split in two different stations. Basically, let's see now very quickly the preheating technology for spout. You can see now on this slide, we basically preheat the surround of the spout, and we actually keep the heat around the spout in order to avoid that the heating get spread inside the machine. And you can see now better how we are doing that. Basically, we apply hot air at 420 degrees Celsius, and basically that helps to melting down the ribs of the spout. After that, we apply, when the pouch is below the station, we apply the spout inside the pouch when it's already preheated, and helps a lot to reduce the sealing time and the temperature, external temperature we apply on the sealing jaw. Servo-driven spout applicator. This is important also in considering the retrofit, the possibility to retrofit our machines. Basically, it's a servo-driven applicator, helps to have a better control of the position of the spout, but also the timing during the transportation, application, and the sealing of the spout, which is fully independent. That's also important. Same story for the corner spout double sealing point. Basically, for the corner spout, this is very challenging. It's important to avoid to deform the material. For that reason, we have basically two sealing stations. The first one when you apply with the spout and we seal the spout, and that's the second one when we can make the final sealing on the spout. Having the double sealing point helps to reduce the temperature and increase the timing for the sealing as well. Also, let me mention finally about the retrofit. Like we said, our existing customers are very important for us. So we don't want to say, if you want to work with mono material, fully recycled material, you need to buy a new machines. That's our dream, of course, but does not work. So we want to help our existing customer in order to make a retrofit to increase the OEE of the machine, as well as be able to work with mono material. We can basically replace, especially with the sealing jaws, the bottom jaw, the bottom perforator, and the sealing station, air cooling. So basically, the old machines could be set as the new one, pretty much the same. I'm not saying this is a cheap retrofit. I like to be honest with you, customer, and but this is feasible. So it's important to consider that you can change, you can set your existing machines in order to be able to work with the mono material. And finally, there is no need to say how important is the spouted pouch market in the US, and not only in the US, worldwide actually. For different applications, home care, personal care, baby food, beverage in general. We see a huge increasing of the demand for this kind of product, and our data, our intelligence is showing us that there is a lot of room for improvement to ramping the market worldwide. That's basically pretty much the information. Of course, there is much more to say, and feel free to reach out our sales guys, area sales manager worldwide, and we will be more than happy, as well as our technical department, we will be more than happy to help you to better understand what you can do in order to be able to work with mono material. Finally, just to summarize, sustainability is a challenge, but it's already a present, it's not a future. So in Europe, But even in the US, South America, and finally in Asia and Africa, it's just a matter of time. It's coming. But like we heard from John, the industries are making a lot of progress. Film supplier, spout supplier are helping the machines manufacturing in order to work with sustainable film. The synergy between all the players is very, very important. That's actually the only one way, the key point to reach out this goal. Finally, let's help our customer. You customers, our final goal for us. Make happy you customer helps us to be happy as well. So we want to help you during the transition from standard material to sustainable material in order to be successful, and you can count on our full cooperation to achieve this result. Thank you for your attention, and now I give back to Monica the control of the screen.
Okay, well, thank you both for your participation, Mike and John. The topic of the future of sustainable pouches with a Spout has been very interesting, providing valuable insights into the latest monomaterial technology and recyclable spouts. Now our audience have been moving during the session and have been asking for questions. So let's proceed now of the round of the questions and answers. Okay. So we have the first question from the attendees, that is, to retrofix my existing machine with the units to work monomaterials, do I need to ship back my machine to MESPAC? What is the lead time to install the retrofit?
This is actually, sorry, John, let me answer this question if you don't mind. This is a very good question, actually. And the short answer is no. You don't need to ship back the machine to MESPAC. We can make the retrofit in your plant, in your facility. The lead time to make the retrofit from the purchase order to installation commissioning is around 12, 14 weeks in average. And commissioning for the new unit to be installed on the new machine, including some trials and tests, is around 5 to 8 business days. It depends, of course, the amount of labor and activity we have to make on the machine. Of course, also how old is the machine itself.
Okay, thank you, Mike. We have more questions on the table. Another attendee asks, do you believe the advancements made in mono PE films and machine technologies will eliminate the need to change the resin composition of the spout?
Yeah, I wish that this was, someone referenced this a couple of years ago. I'll say, and I think Mike hit on this point earlier, we have to have a solution now in the market, just because the future is the present. So we could say, hey, we have a couple of solutions that we've had, and there's some really, really good film suppliers with really, really good technologies out there. There are some really, really good machine suppliers that have made a difference. However, we are an integral part of that final package, and we've seen that prior to making that transition to low melt, we were not having the success. So we are a part of that final package, and the data shows that we're moving in the right direction. We'll find equilibrium. I know we will in the future, but right now I think we're on a right path to incorporate more players into that final solution for the consumer and for the market.
Okay, thank you. And more questions. How can I make sure that my machine is able to work successfully with monomaterials? I mean film and spout?
Oh, can I answer, John? Do you mind? So that's a very good question as well, actually. And so when we say monomaterial, like John says, this is a huge range of different material with different characteristic, mechanical characteristic, and different feedback from the temperature. So yes, we already have a lot of experience and we are getting a lot of experience, but in the reality, the best way to figure out if the machine is able, and even considering the new units to be installed and on the machine, like a retrofit, the best way to figure out if the machine is able to work with the new film, the new spout, is basically to make some trials. That's why, like John showed in the video, the collaboration with the OPEC studio, Hoffer, and maybe the film supplier. And we also have a many partnership with the film supplier can be extremely important to fulfill this purpose. Basically, the best way to do that is make trials. We have one Messbank machines located in the OPEC studio in Texas. We can arrange some trials. The customer is free to bring the materials, packaging materials, the film, the spout, and we arrange the machine in order to be able to make some tests with some reports. Our technician specialized will be there to help the customer, and basically in one day, probably one day is enough to see what is the feedback we get from the machine and also from the material and the spout in the real production environment.
Okay.
Yeah, and we invite you to come. It's a great process, and you can really, as a brand, you can really test whichever variables you want, and see the results that you're getting. And then if there's tweaks that need to be made along the way, you can do it offsite. You're not compromising production, and you can get a lot. Dowpac does a really nice job of getting reports out as well and documents what works and what doesn't at what temperatures, and it's really very beneficial. So please reach out to us. We'd be happy to have you. If you'd like a camera crew there, we can arrange for that as well.
Yeah. So basically, John, thank you for your comment. We don't need to guess. The best way to do that is make some trials and then see the answer, get the answer from the machine itself and from the material itself.
Okay, thank you both. More questions on the table. So for the additional features on Messbank machines, what is the rotating wheel for paper laminates?
Yes, basically when on the unwinder, there is a, sorry, John, I don't want to be.
You know the answer.
This is about Messbank, so let me try to answer. On the unwinder unit, when we form what we call the triangle in order to fold the material with the paper, which has sometimes a different behavior in terms of folding, there is basically a kind of, I know my colleagues in Spain, they call it like pizza plate. I'm Italian, so I like the idea to use this kind of pizza plate. It basically helps to avoid lose the position when we fold the paper in order to make the overlap of the material. So typically there is a single plate. In this case is basically a rotating plate in order to help the material to stay in position and to fold properly. Okay. And this is placed in the unwinder unit.
Thank you. Another question: is there any restraint in the model of the filler machine to be retrofitted?
Like we said before, of course, our technical department has the last word about that. It depends how old is the machine per se, and what are the features have been purchased at the moment of the when the customer bought the machine, and then we're gonna make the evaluation case by case. My technical department told me that excluding some very, very few cases, most of the time the retrofit can be done, installing at least the preheating station, which is one of the most important for the preheating spout station, and even the double sealing jaws on the bottom. So yes, typically there is no restraints, but of course has to be evaluated by our technical department. For that reason, if you want to get further information, feel free to approach me on our sales agent worldwide for MESPAC, and we are happy to share the information with our technical department, make our evaluation, and give you back a report and an assessment, and let's say even a quotation in order to be able to do that.
Okay, thank you. Are special spout designs required, or can we use conventional spout designs?
So what we have seen is it really is that combination of the film and the spout. We do not need to have a special design because we have proven success without that. So right now it looks like it hasn't been really a need to look at it from the design. It really has to do with the melt temperatures coming together and the technologies from the machine that can make a nice looking pouch that meets your aesthetic needs as well as the barrier needs.
Okay. There is another question for you. What is the smallest size of spout available with Hoffer?
So the smallest size is an 8.5. So think like baby food, 8.5 millimeter, and the largest that we have right now is a 22 millimeter. So different size pouches, and we have 8.5, 15, and 22, and 10.5.
Okay. So more questions. Can you share the details or structure of monomaterial film with which are successful on MESPAC machine for liquid pouches with a spout?
This is you, John.
Yeah, I'll say if we could take this offline, probably offline, and we can delve a little deeper into the data. Sure, I would be more than happy to kind of share some of the successes that we've had.
Okay. Perfect. So are all monomaterial laminators from the different suppliers the same, or are some significantly better when it comes to sealing performance on a typical machine?
So I know John knows the answer better than me, but I can also say, like I said, when we talk about monomaterial, there are so many different kind of structure and formula. So it's important for our technical department to evaluate, to make some tests and trials, because most of the time those materials are quite successful, but this is not an automatic result. So we should test it very carefully.
Yeah, I'll say that they are not, all films are not created equal. So that is why that was kind of what I was trying to relate in my presentation. There are films that right now work, and there's films that are on the journey to getting there, and we want to get from the red to the green. You know, we want to have more success with more structures.
Okay.
That's why the machine, all the modifications of the machine have been a huge help. The modifications of the spout and the resin composition getting there have been a help, and we're all trending towards getting to more green. No pun intended.
Okay, thank you. Here, one attendee asked that I have different type of spouts with different resin combinations, approximately 10 types. Can we take trials at your end? Is there a way to conduct some short studies to shortlist the right spout type?
So the question is about they have 10 types of different resin combination.
Different type of spouts with resin combinations. If the spouts are if the spouts have a different shape, it's going to be difficult because the seal jaws are the constraint. We can only seal bad jars if it's with the seal jaws. If it's just a configuration of the or a resin blend, we can test here, and I test in the worst conditions. I'll just show you an example of something that looks absolutely horrible on the bench top with that. But when you put it on a machine with, let's say with the mess pack and where you have that preheat of the spout, it doesn't look. It looks like this. Look at how distorted this looks. Well, I don't know if you can see how distorted that looks, but I have really good adhesion at the spout. And this is at 124 Celsius. But if I put it on the mess pack machine, it doesn't look as distorted. So we know that we can seal, have a really nice, good adhesion with this film, and on the machine, less film distortion.
Yeah. So Monica, I know we are running out of time, but let me make an additional comment. This is a very frequent question I got all the time. What about different spout shape or same shape but with different material? Can we still use the same spout applicator? The answer is if the spout shape is the same, just a different material, most likely, yes, you can keep the same ball, vibration ball, transportation, and spout applicator. Of course, it has to be tested because there is a different weight and maybe a different center of gravity during the transportation has to be tested. But most likely, it's going to be yes. If there is a different spout shape, bigger, or just a different shape per se, of course, I mean, this is still feasible on our machine, but it's a different setting. So basically requires a new ball, a new cap transportation, a new spout applicator, which could be also implemented in our existing machines. But this is not a changeover. It's more like a different setting of the machine.
Okay. So thank you. We have no more time.
I know,
So
Monica, I saw there are also additional questions. Is it possible to maybe address those questions in separate way to me or maybe John?
yes,
And maybe
Yeah.
we
yes,
can
yes,
contact
yes.
the
Yeah,
customers.
feel free to
We are
reach
more
out.
than happy.
Sure, because there are more questions,
Yes.
but there are no time
course.
to
Of course.
finalize everything. But yes, I will send the rest of the questions to you both, and you can send
Perfect.
to the person. So the persons who we have not answered the question, so please put your email, okay, and then it will be easier for us to contact you directly, okay? So thank you, John and Mike, and thanks
Pleasure.
to all of you for your trust and for being with us today. We invite you to contact MESPA as well as Hoffer for any questions. Mike and John will be more than great to answer you and to support you in any issue that you have. And we encourage you to contact by sending an email, marketing@mespac.com. Marketing@mespac.com. And if there is a question for John, I will send directly to John. Don't worry. And if it's for MESPAC, I will send to Mike. So looking forward to seeing you soon at our next MESPAC Smart Doors. Have a great
You are
afternoon.
invited,
And
guys.
best
You are
regards.
invited for at Pack Expo. Please come to
Yes.
visit our booth and also offer both. You are more than welcome. and you will get all the information you need. We also will bring some machines there. It will be a pleasure to see you all at PAX Expo Chicago.
For sure. Okay, thank you very much. Thank
This
you.
was a lot
And
of fun. Thank you, Monica.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
yeah,
Mike.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
bye, Monica.
thank you
Bye,
to
John.
everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
bye, bye, bye.